Hello crafty friends, I'm Lean from Studio Kato and I'm so happy to be back with another video for Seize the Stamp. Seize the Stamp is a Swiss shop and it's wonderful. It has all your favorite brands including Altenew, which is the brand that is in the spotlight this week. So if you go on over to the Seize the Stamp Instagram, which I will link below, you will see plenty of inspiration for Altenew products that are available at Seize the Stamp. I am using the Golden Days, the Golden Days stamp and die set. And this is a layering stamp set, but it also has just an outline image as part of the layered image. So you can absolutely use this as a normal stamp, which I think is great for versatility. You can get a lot of different looks from this. And I am getting my colors actually because I think these are very unique colors I'm using today from the Seize the Stamp September Color Challenge. I will also leave that linked below. It's a challenge that is run on Instagram and not on the Seize the Stamp blog anymore. But it's just wonderful. It's great for inspiration and it gets you out of your comfort zone and trying some new color combinations, which keep life interesting. Now this stamp set comes with, I think, 3 images, 1 flower and 2 leaves, and I love them both, or I love them all, but I'm only using the flower and 1 of the leaves today because that saved me a little bit of time. I'm also using the same color combination for all of my images, and I am doing that because this time I am using the muted colors of the color combination for my focal point. So the bright colors are going in the background, which I think is a little bit different than what I usually do. And it's really fun because that way you get more bright colors. If your whole background is bright and colorful, you don't need a super colorful focal point. You can do with a little bit more muted colors to rest the eye a little bit. Now both of these images that I am using today have, I think, 4 layers to them. The flower actually has a couple more just to fill in the center of the flower, but with the colors I'm using, that just wasn't necessary at all to also use those. And I am finishing it up with that outline stamp with the VersaFine Onyx Black ink, so I can emboss the outline. I did the same for the flower image, and the way I did that is I stamped the outline first because it's the first layer and it makes it easy to line up all the other layers. I just did that in some dye ink from Pinkfresh Studio, and then I left that in my MISTI, used the other corner of my MISTI to line up everything else, and then I stamped the outline image right at the very end again. Now for my background, I am using a beautiful embossing folder, sorry, not powder, an embossing folder also by Altenew. These are, or this one is the Floating Foliage embossing folder, and I really love it. It can be very elegant, very playful. You can even cut around the foliage to use it as an element on a card instead of a background. And I am using the other more bright colors of the color challenge to ink blend over top of the embossed images, so I can just get a really beautifully colored background. It goes really quickly and you get an amazing effect with the embossing folder there. Now I wanted to intensify that a little bit. So once I am done ink blending, I actually take the ink cubes directly to the page, which is why I love the ink cubes, because you can do a lot of inky techniques with them where you get a lot more control because the ink cubes are smaller than the large size ink pads. I'm overlapping the colors a little bit so they blend together nicely, and that just darkens up the embossed or the raised areas. Now I am lining up my flower there and my leaf clusters. I did die cut those out with the coordinating dies, also available at Seize the Stamp. And I'm adhering everything in place with some pieces of purple tape so I can trim off the excess of the flower. I like to do this first because I know I am going to adhere it with foam tape. and that's really difficult to cut through. So if you cut your image before you put it on your card, that's going to make it a lot easier. Now I trimmed down the background a little bit, so I have about an inch left on the bottom of my card, just of white space, and I am adding a strip of gold cardstock, gold glitter cardstock, to act as a little trim there. And then in that space below, I can stamp a sentiment from the same stamp set. And the sentiments are probably what I love most about Altenew. I love their flowers. It's just a brand that I've never really collected. I stick to the same brand usually, but their flower images are great. Please don't get me wrong. It's just their sentiments always stand out to me, and they're great. I really like this one, the Don't Forget to Smile, and I love that the smile is a slightly different font. I adhered everything together with just some glue, liquid adhesive, and oh no, actually on the embossed background I used double-sided adhesive, which I don't use a lot, but I have a lot of it, so I'm trying to use it up. I added the flower with foam tape, and then I finished it off with some Gems by Crafty Meraki, which I adhered down with Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. That finishes up my card. I really love how this turned out because of the colors I used. I'm very happy with this September color challenge by Seize the Stamp. Again, that will be linked below, as well as the Seize the Stamp Instagram account, where you can follow along for all the brand spotlight inspiration for Altenew. And actually, Rachel from Seize the Stamp has promised us that she will do more spotlight weeks in the upcoming months. Sometimes it will be a spotlight brand, sometimes it will be a spotlight technique, and it's just going to get the whole design team together to give you a bunch of inspiration for the products. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope you play along with the color challenge. There's always something to win. I will leave all the inspiration or all the information in the description below so you can find it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.